Now, as you guys know, we went live last night. We had a fight party for the Vergil Ortiz and Eric Lubin fight. I'm not gonna say a lot of you guys, that fight card was trash. Golden Boy, man, y'all got to do better, dog, and putting the product on, on your cards. Golden Boy, I'm giving you some honest criticism. It looked bad, bro. I'm not gonna lie. The fight card was terrible. It was probably one of the worst fight cards of the year. Everybody was anticipating the Vergil Ortiz versus Eric Lubin fight. Eric Lubin went in there and he got stopped in the second round, literally. So let me piggyback a little bit. Let's rewind. So during my show, right, I had a few people called on the show. Shout out to my brother, Coach Eddie, and stuff like that. They had a lot more high expectations. Bozy Ennis said the same thing that, Vergil Ortiz is looking past Eric Lubin. Lubin is a live dog. He coming to fight and all that stuff there. Lubin didn't come to fight. Lubin got stopped. You get what I'm saying? Erickson, the hammer Lubin, you need to take the hammer out of your name. Shout out to Erickson Lubin, though. You from Florida. You're a Florida boy. I rock with you because you from Florida. I heard you was Haitian, so say passe or whatever. You know what I mean? Salute to you, fam. But however, it's over with, dog. At this point, you're just a gatekeeper. You did say this in the beginning of the fight. We're going to show everybody that I'm not a gatekeeper. Eric Lubin, you're a gatekeeper. You'll never be a champion. And the reason why you'll never be a champion is because you're not that good. You're just an average fighter. You're an average fighter. And I'm not taking anything away from you. And this is nothing wrong with that. But you're not an elite fighter. Every time you got in the ring, all your step-up fights, you lose. You got slept by Jamel Charlo, but you got in the ring with him. You actually took that fight too fast, but you wanted it. You got what you were looking for. You got slept by Sebastian Fundora, and then you just got slept by Vergil Ortiz. So that tells me that, you know what, it's over with for you as it relates to that. You can still make some money boxing. It's just you are a pro box level fighter. You need to stay on pro box and just fight on those shitless circuit cards, kind of like what you did last night. Now, as it relates to Vergil Ortiz, what I loved about this fight was not even the fight. I love when Jerron Boots stepped in the ring. I loved it. Now, as you guys know, I've been criticizing Boots and Vergil Ortiz. And the reason why I've been criticizing both of those guys, because when you hear Boots talk, oh, man, we trying to make the fight. They don't want to fight. They duck it. That's what Boots' team said. And then when you hear from Vergil Ortiz's team, oh, they don't really want to fight us. Maybe we can make that happen. They're just talking, yada, yada, yada. And it seemed like they talking duck talk. Robert Garcia seemed like he was talking duck talk. Vergil Ortiz's father seemed like he was talking duck talk. And Oscar Dela Hoya, Lord have mercy, shuck it, deck it, quack, quack. So, it really sounded like he was talking duck talk. You get what I'm saying? So now, the simple fact that, Vergil Ortiz didn't have security outside of the ring to make sure nobody steps in the ring, very similar to what Canelo did with David Benavidez. Boots was able to come in the ring. Vergil called him, said, hey, come here. And it was face to face. That was the most exciting part of the card. I literally caught the Holy Ghost. If you look at my reaction when I saw them face to face, I caught the Holy Ghost. Shout out to my sister Goddess. Goddess is like, Coach, it don't take much to please you. And I'm like, Goddess, you gotta listen, sis. You gotta have hope. Like, this is the closest we have been to making this fight happen since 1979. So 1962. You get what I'm saying? So both of these guys face to face. Boots left Philly. He didn't have no goons with him. He didn't bring his star trainer Greg Hackett with him. He left Greg in Philly. He left Gillian Wallow in Philly. Gillian Wallow was shooting a podcast. He left them. Meek Mill couldn't come. You know what I mean? They say he was having Diddy nightmares. So a lot of the dudes from Philly couldn't come. Boots say, no, I'm gonna come by myself. It was just him and his boots. He had on his Timberland boots. He came to the fight, him and Eddie the Hitman Hearn, right? And he showed up. Boots didn't have no security, nobody with him. So that let me know Boots was serious. So I don't want nobody talking about, oh, man, Boots just flawed. He really don't want to fight. Man, the nigga went to left Philly and came all the way to goddamn Fort Worth, Texas, and stepped in the ring if he didn't want to fight. So let's cut that out. I don't want to hear no more Vergil Ortiz fans say he really don't want to fight. What the man got to do? The man was there and he stepped in the goddamn ring. So let's put that aside. Now, what I like about what, Boots called him out. He said, look, we can bet whatever you want to bet. I promise you won't do me like that. Whatever the case may be. I promise you I'm going to whoop you. We can bet whatever. And Vergil Ortiz said, I don't bet. Now, Vergil Ortiz is more of a calm demeanor. Boots kind of got a little rowdy a little bit, but I like that. Boots showed me he was body. He was body. You get what I'm saying? I like that. Now, Vergil Ortiz on the other hand. Vergil like, look here, man. Come here, yeah, we can make this happen. This fight should happen next. No problem. I think Verge is, you get what I'm saying? Verge is really feeling himself. Now, I'm not going to lie. I can't really judge much about a Lubin fight. Lubin pretty much ain't doing a goddamn thing. Lubin just came in there, looked like he came in there to get the paycheck. He packed it up. He wasn't letting his hands go, wasn't doing anything. And then when he voluntarily went to the ropes to sit in the high guard and allow Vergil Ortiz to tee off on him, like, what you think was going to happen? Lubin, you don't have a hell of a punch resistance already. You'd have been knocked out twice before that fight. And now last night was your third time getting knocked out. You get what I'm saying? So, Erickson Lubin, Coach Eddie, I know you said he was a slick black fighter and Terrence Crawford beating Canelo gave you hope about the slick black fighters. This is the problem. We got to stop calling every black fighter slick. If you understand what a slick black fighter is, and I know Coach Eddie was just joking, I know that. But if you understand what a slick black fighter is, James Stoney, slick black fighter. Ezra Charles, slick black fighter. Georgie Benton, slick black fighter. Pernell Whitaker, slick black fighter. You get what I'm saying? Mike McCallum, slick black fighter. It was a whole bunch of them. Kuba in today's time, Kuba Stealth, slick black fighter. Gary Antoine Russell, Gary Russell, Mr. Gary Russell Jr., slick black fighter. It's a few of them that's really show slickness in that pocket. Know how to slip, catch, parry, roll. You know what I mean? Bob. Slip right up on the shot, step around the weak side and bam, step around the strong side and bam. You get what I'm saying? Give you angles in the pocket. Bam Rodriguez, slick Mexican fighter. You get what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. So we got to stop calling every black fighter slick black fighter. Just because they black don't mean they slick. They might be black, but they not slick. You dig? Now, I'm happy about this potential fight. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. The one thing that kind of that got me kind of pessimistic about this fight happening is Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar still talking about, remember Vergil hold all the cards. We ain't playing cards, fam. This ain't Tunk. This not Uno. This not Spades. This not Dirty Hearts. We're not talking about cards. We're talking about a fight. So when you see a promoter talking about, we hold all the cards, that lets me know that you are going to do everything in your power to create an obstacle in order to prevent this fight from happening. So Oscar De La Hoya seemed like he's shaking like booty meat. Literally. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not the biggest fan of Oscar De La Hoya. You get what I'm saying? But I got to call a spade a spade. Eddie Hearn showed up. Y'all tried to lie and say, they already got a fight set up already. That's what Robert Garcia said. Lie. Oscar De La Hoya, all this stuff. Yeah, I hope they don't show up because seeing Vergil Ortiz in person is scary. It's really scary. I hope he don't show up. You know what I mean? Because you might get scared. Well, the man showed up and stepped in the ring. So I am convinced that it's not Vergil Ortiz who don't want to fight Boots. It's not Boots who don't want to fight Vergil Ortiz. It was their teams. It was Boots Ennis' team, whether it be his management team, promoter, or whoever over his career. I don't want to throw Bo's name up under this, but whoever over Boots' career who makes those decisions, it was his fault. And for Vergil team, it was Oscar De La Hoya more than likely, Robert Garcia more than likely, and his father more than likely. And again, I ain't got nothing against neither side, but I'm saying that's what it is. Y'all need to get out the way. Boots team, y'all get out the way. Vergil Ortiz team, y'all get out the way. Let these young jitterboys fight. I know y'all got money invested in these fighters, and you scared. You don't want them to get in no fight where they really got to dig deep and get in the fight the way it's a 50-50 fight. I understand that. Y'all don't want that. Y'all want to, put it out there in the media that Vergil Ortiz is a killer and Jerron Boots Ennis is a killer without them actually having to fight killers. Now, I will say this. Vergil Ortiz has a better resume. Even though Vergil Ortiz have not haven't fought for a title yet, never won a belt. I'm talking about a major sanctioning belt. Boots have he fought for one. He fought for one title. That was the WBA when he beat Memphis Stanionis. He had the IBL, but he didn't fight for that. He received that via email. That was emailed to him. So he only fought for one title. So I will say this. Jerron Boots Ennis, it looked like he wanted to fight. Vergil Ortiz, it looks like he wanted to fight. So I don't want to hear nothing from Oscar, bro. I don't want to hear nothing. Now, I don't know if Turki Al-Sheikh was going to be involved in making this fight together. I think that by Boots signing directly, once he became a free agent, by Boots re-signing with Eddie Hearn, that let me know that he don't want any parts of Turki Al-Sheikh. Because if you sign with Turki Al-Sheikh, Turki Al-Sheikh, you're going to have to, you're going to have to fight some tough motherfuckers. If he would have signed with Turki Al-Sheikh, Boots probably would have fought Bakram in his last fight instead of fighting Lima Bean. You get what I'm saying? So if you look at the resume, Vergil Ortiz has a better resume right now. I'm saying, if you look at the names he's fought Marjamal, he's fought Bullchuck, He's fought Erickson Lubin. All of these guys are top 10 guys, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think they top 10 and top 15 guys. He's fighting the names. Erickson Lubin fought Fundora, and Erickson Lubin fought, former undisputed 154-pound champion Jamel Charlo. So you get what I'm saying? So if you look at, the strength of schedule, who these guys fought, I will say that Boots fought. He has the better names. Very similar to Devin Haney. Devin Haney got better names and all that stuff there. Don't mean that honestly, that really don't mean anything. You get what I'm saying? Because, if you match up with these guys, if your style is more superior than that person, then of course, even though he's the name, but he doesn't have the skill to match you. You know what I mean? So as it relates to Vergil Ortiz, now I did hear that Book said time and time again, he like, look, man, this guy's style is tailor-made for me. It's tailor-made for me. He's a flat-footed come forward fighter in the high guard. Okay, that's fine. Now, but Vergil Ortiz is not the typical flat-footed come forward high guard fighter. What I noticed in that Lubin fight, when Lubin was shooting the jab out there with no authority, he wasn't shooting it out there with no authority. He was just flicking it, and Vergil Ortiz was picking it. So a lot of times when you're in the high guard, and you got the elbows tight, and Vergil Ortiz keep everything tight. So the high guard, they do that in order to get you to open up. Once you open up, pick the shot, come back and counter. Did you get what I'm saying? I didn't see, if you're going to get on the ropes like Erickson Lubin did, you got to know how to catch and shoot. You was catching, but you wasn't catching anything. You were just in a high guard letting the guy tee off on you. So I can't say that, hey, man, saw what Vergil did to Erickson Lubin. Just imagine what he'll do to Boots. Well, Boots is not going to sit on the ropes like that in a high guard and let you tee off on him. He's not going to do that. He's going to pivot. He's going to use angles, footwork, shoot the jab. He's going to use his quickness and athleticism. Now, I don't know if he's going to sit down on his shots, because if he sit down on his shots, then he can get time to get caught with a right cross or a left hook or whatever the case may be. But, Vergil Ortiz, Gerard Boots Ennis, it's not Erickson Lubin. I don't want to take any credit away from Vergil for beating Lubin, but Lubin, man, I ain't gonna lie, from what I seen last night, Lubin ain't got nothing, bro. He didn't even come to fight. It was as though he came to get the paycheck. He came to get the paycheck. Now, again, I'm not saying he threw the fight, but a lot of this stuff happened in boxing. That's why I say, man, a lot of stuff in boxing need to be investigated. If you sit back, that's why I told you, Oscar, you sit back talking about, yeah, man, you making fun of Dana White because the FBI is investigating the UFC. What you gonna do when the FBI start investigating boxing? Boxing been doing this. Hell, the UFC ain't been around longer than boxing. Boxing been throwing fights and doing stuff for years, for decades. You know what I mean? So, probably over a century. So this goes on all the time. This man did all this talking, came in there, and then he just laid down. The man, bro, I don't even think he threw two or three punches, if that. He probably threw like 10 punches or whatever, but he was just flicking. He wasn't doing nothing. He didn't step, he didn't do any of that. Gave Vergil Ortiz too much respect. He wasn't trying to establish himself at all. It was as though he was so subdued and he surrendered, and that's what happened. Again, not taking nothing away from Vergil Ortiz, but I can't look at the Erickson Lubin fight in all honesty and say, because look what he did to Lubin, just imagine what he'll do to Boots. Boots ain't Lubin. Boots ain't gonna be sitting on the ropes. Boots gonna hold this position in the center of the ring. How you fight a fighter like Vergil Ortiz, you keep him in the center. You keep him in the center. If you don't allow him to dictate the movement in the ring, that's how you normally beat those flat-footed fighters. You keep them right there in the middle of the ring. You keep them right there. Hold your ground right there. Crawford showed you how to do it. A lot of fighters. Andre Ward used to hold your ground in the middle of the ring. Don't give up nothing. And then, too, if you do allow the fighter to come forward, and that means you're looking for him, you're looking to walk him in the shots. Boots may try to do that when he fight Vergil Ortiz, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just happy that both of these men will showing progress in this fight. Both of these guys have gotten the ring and face each other. Will it actually happen? I don't know. But what I will tell you is this here. If it don't happen, it's more than likely it's going to be because of Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya, more than likely it's probably going to be because of Oscar De La Hoya and Vergil Ortiz's team at this point. There's nothing in my mind that's going to tell me that it's Boots' team that's faking at this point. No, the man when he came to Fort Worth, Texas by himself, like this will be a serious pump fake. This will be a serious pump fake. Nigga show up at your fight, step in the ring with you, letting you know he want to fight. So I believe Boots really want to fight this guy. I don't want to hear nothing from Vergil Ortiz or his team or his fans saying they really don't want to fight. No, you guys really don't want to fight. So what I want to see, I know Vergil want to fight. Vergil Ortiz, I know you want to fight Boots. I know that for a fact. Boots, I know you want to fight Vergil Ortiz. I know that for a fact. I don't trust Oscar Dela Hoya. I don't. I just don't. You know what I mean? You know, once he start wearing pantyhose and sniffing coke and wearing high heels, stuff like that, if he just look, man, listen, okay, look, how many more fights do Vergil Ortiz need? He need to fight this boy. Boots did turn the fight down under Turki Al-Sheikh. When Turki Al-Sheikh offered him to fight, he did turn it down. Those are the facts. But right now, that's water under the bridge. I'm not trying to build barriers in order to prevent a mega fight from happening. I'm trying to build bridges. We pass all that. Right now, we saw the bridge. We saw two bridges coming together. We saw Vergil Ortiz. We saw bridge Vergil Ortiz and bridge Jerron Boots Ennis come together. Now, if the fight don't happen, it's going to be on Golden. But I promise you that. Again, I'm not giving Eddie the Hitman Hearn no passes either. But Eddie Hearn was there with his client Boots. He was there. That's like if Vergil didn't show up. Vergil didn't show up in Philly when Boots fought Lima Bean and said, "Yeah, man, you know what I mean. I got a fight coming up with Eric Saluba. Once I get by that fight, yeah, I'm here to let you know I'm serious about making that fight next." Vergil didn't do that. Boots did that. So even though I criticized Boots in the past and I criticized Vergil Ortiz in the past, guess what? I got to give Boots credit. I got to give him credit, bro. That man stepped. He left Philly by himself. He flew on Philadelphia Eagles Airlines. He flew in on Philadelphia Wings by himself. You dig? So it is what it is, man. Again, I'm happy about that, guys. I'm real happy. I'm not gonna say a lie to you because this is the closest thing that we have gotten thus far. As a matter of fact, let's see what Vergil Ortiz had to say. Verg, you said something about fighting Crawford and fighting Boots and fighting some other guys. Look, man, forget that. Bro, you had your chance. That ship has sailed. All you y'all niggas trying to fight Crawford. And again, I'm not a spokesperson. I don't know no information. But I'm saying the nigga ain't fighting y'all. Y'all had y'all shots years ago. He ain't fighting y'all. He on some other shit now. He doing some other shit right now. I think that's obvious. You get what I'm saying? So, his legacy is solidified, whatever. Y'all need to focus on each other because that's what you're going to need to do. Vergil Ortiz, hopefully one day in life before you retire, you will become a world champion. Because thus far in the 8-9 years you've been boxing, you don't know what it's like to be a world champion. You fought the names, but you don't know what it's like to be a world champion. And even though I do know that world championship status is watered down in this era, because this era belts don't mean anything and all that stuff there, the sanctioning bodies, they kind of delegitimize their belts because they got 1 million belts. They don't force mandatories like they should. They allow certain fighters like Canelo's and stuff like that to move how they want to move without defending the title. So I get that. This is no shade on Canelo, but I'm saying this is what the sanctioning bodies have done. So they have delegitimized their belts as well. So people are saying that, hey, man, look, Vergil Ortiz and Jerron Boots Ennis need to get a belt first, so when they fight, it could be for a belt. No, the fighters are bigger than the belts. At this point in time, it's not even about the belt. It's about the fight. The belt is never bigger than the fight. And just because two great fighters fight each other for a non-title fight does not mean that the fight has less significance. There's an overall consensus that Vergil Ortiz and Jerron Boots Ennis are two of the best fighters in the world on the planet, and not only that, two of the best fighters in that weight division. There's an overall consensus on that already. So since there's an overall consensus on that already, we don't need to add any more barriers to prevent this fight from happening. Well, Boots need to get a belt. Vergil need to get a belt. No. We don't need none of that. Both of them got Mickey Mouse belts already anyways. Vergil got an interim belt where the WBC ain't mandating nothing. And I think Jerron Boots Ennis, he's the IBO 154-pound champion. And I think he got a WBA intern belt or something of that sort. So both of y'all intern champions. Both of y'all got intern belts. You're not champions. You just got intern belts. So we ain't worried about the belts. Forget the belts. Since y'all devalue the belts and say the belts don't mean anything, I'm agreeing with you. So we don't need no belts. We need to see these two guys wallow. I think both of them the same age, 28 years old, something of that sort, younger than their prime. We need to see that. So my conclusion is this, as I said before, look, there's not a doubt in my mind that Vergil Ortiz want to fight Boots. I'm sure of that. There's not a doubt in my mind that Boots want to fight Vergil Ortiz. I'm sure of that. Them facing off in the ring last night told me everything I needed to know. Now, as it relates to their teams, I really don't know. I really don't know. You dig? I catch you guys on the next one. Y'all leave a comment below this video. Let me know what do you think. I catch you guys. I see you guys at 3 o'clock East Coast Standard Time, Monday through Friday on Tree Media Podcast. Hate, like, share, and subscribe. You know my motto. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Peace.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go. Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.